What's up, guys? I'm here with Sibren. So,
Love
the intro. So basically, Sibren is one of our main project managers on a lot of our refurbs. And what we're going to do is we have one of our clients' purchases behind us. It's currently midway through the renovation. So what Sibren's going to do is, because he's a mastermind in terms of like the refurbs and all that kind of stuff, is show how we approach the project at the start before we even bought the project for the client. It's currently going through the midway of the refurb now. He'll outline where we're at now and also the end goal, where we actually want to get to. So, yeah. What's your kind of
well,
to this?
First, I just want to say congratulations to anyone listening to this, because you are upping your property knowledge, and that is always great in what we do. You know, you could be out there partying, you could be out there watching the football, but you're not. You're listening to property, so that's a great start. And second of all, just want to start. This is a different kind of purchase. This was bought through auction, and it was actually pre-auction. So we got in there before it went to auction. We managed to agree a price on it that we were happy with. That stacked for us. We worked out the GDV, we worked out the refurb, and then we purchased it at X price. And I'll explain the refurb process now, how I nitpicked and understood what the schedule of works would be, getting that broader picture to how much is it going to cost to bring it up to the level it needs to be rentable at the end of the day, because that's what we're looking for. We need to have an end goal in mind, and in this case it is SA, but there's always a buy-to-let or there's a social housing. Multiple actions is good. So yeah,
that's spot on, man.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is kind of a run through of we'll show the property where it is currently now, but then also how Sibren approached it before that to then get to this point, to then have the end goal in mind. So yeah, let's rock into it.
Yeah, let's go for it, man. So first of all, we rolling from here?
Rolling.
So first of all, the garden was completely overgrown. We've cut it back. Still ongoing, the project. All of this is probably about halfway through now, maybe a little bit more. So we're coming nearer to the making it look nice is the latter stages, but first you got to do all the demolition, get in, start ripping everything out, making those minor alterations, doing the plumbing, doing the electrics, making sure the house is functioning as it should be, making sure the damp problems are sorted, any water ingress is sorted, making sure it's, safe to work in, and we're not damaging the property. If the roof had a major leak, then that's the first job. We need to make sure it's all going to be dry and warm, aired out, ventilated, and then we can start all the works that needs to be. So first of all, we got the garden here. Just straight rip out, man. Just, it was overgrown with vines and all this other stuff. So we just come in and start ripping it all out. The patio's actually what I'm happy with. It's a little bit uneven, but, generally for what we're looking for low maintenance gardens within our properties, because if it requires maintenance, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost time, it's going to need to be organized after the fact. This is going to potentially be an SA project, so we really want we don't want a gardener coming in every month, to sort the grass out. We want a nice patio. Even though I support the environment and I want trees to grow, we do like to make it easy for ourselves as well.
That's a very political answer.
So, within the back though, generally it's okay. We got a small minor alteration now. It's a bit unseen before. Now the felt's deteriorated, which is causing water to fall down. The flashing's gone. It's a bit of a mess, really. Now, actually, it's quite funny that that's not even really hitting our property, because this water's so thick that the water's just running in, which could cause a minor little bit of damp, and as long as it's draining okay. But generally, it's just not something you want. And it's quite a strange thing, because it's a weird dead space that no one's ever going to maintain or use. So you start to understand, well, what can we do with it? The best thing really is to strip it back, to find out what's going on, and then probably do a similar alteration, but maybe a bit better, a bit more modern, to stop that water coming through, because water causes damp. We don't want water. We like water, we just need it drained properly. So as we go down, this was just all overgrown, so we just cut this back. Definitely want to make sure your property's draining okay. A lot of things you can miss is that this type of area is not going to be flat, where water's pooling. That's not good, so we need to make sure that it's all draining properly, which is very important. So as we step into the bathroom, now this is a small space. It was a bit like, what can we do with this to make it a bit more wow? And how can we get the right amenities in there? Bath, sink, toilet, You do want a bath if you can get a bath, but if you can't, sometimes a nice shower space is fine. As you say, this is going for SA, so we weren't that worried about a bath. If you're single let, then you might want to be getting a young family and a baby and whatnot. So this is quite spectacular, really, because it looks fantastic. Originally, there was a plasterboard along here. That's where the roof ended. And I don't know if you can see, but it was quite shallow, quite dark, quite a dingy room. But they come in here and smashed it out pretty much out the park, really. They've taken the boards and all the timbers down. They have boarded the ceilings, put spotlights in, and now you can see how much more space. This was probably everything above my hand was loft space, unused space, dead space, and now it just opens it right up. It's nicely skimmed, nice fresh skim on it. And obviously this area is going to be tiled now and put a shower in. We were thinking about putting a bath, but realistically you just, a nice shower room, make it look tidy, but it's just so open and nice.
It's maximising the space, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really happy. And obviously put the spotlights in just to give it that modern touch.
You can almost see the level where it's cut off there, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Insulated between, that's always important,
100%.
And important to take photos of that in your projects for when they do the EPC, you can provide evidence for it. Now,
for content.
yeah, exactly. Now we kept all the old frames, but we sanded them down. There's no need to change the frames if they're good. You can change the internal doors, but not the frames. Just sand them down and give them a nice gloss, and they'll look good again. Obviously, a lot of the new electrics have come in now. We're going into a bit of a building site now, which is good to see because I love it. But it may be a little bit, dirtier than expected. But the kitchen here was fine. Walked in immediately. The first thing I seen was like, right, what do I need to do to refurb this? Seeing the kitchen, I was like, this kitchen's fine, man. I mean, it's a little bit dated, but generally, it functions well. It's generally quite luxury, quite tidy. It's not chipped or damaged, or the actual cupboard frames are good. So in the end, it was like, right, just keep the kitchen, but how can we modernise it? Well, these old tiles need to go. I don't know if I got one here. I can see one, but they were just very old tiles. So we're taking those off and then retiling it to give it a bit more modern effect.
Yeah, it's a cost-effective method, isn't it, of increasing the value a little bit.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to last 10, 20 years. That's what you want it to do.
Yeah.
If the kitchen's is fine, for the sake of trying to spruce it up and add a little bit of modernisation for the cost, is it worth it? Not in this case, if the kitchen's good enough. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, quite happy with that. Obviously, got the smoke alarms coming in.
Yes.
Upgraded the consumer unit, make sure it's all compliant, which is all important. So,
100%.
Yeah, that's good. And then obviously when I come in, they were Artex ceilings, and Artex is very old and dated and has asbestos in traces if you need to know. So don't ever start sanding an Artex ceiling.
That's really good to know, yeah.
But just skim over it, blue grey it, skim it, be fine. So this used to be a cupboard with a door under the stairs cupboard. Now what they've done here is to maximise the space again, which is a great idea. I love it what they've done here. What we've done here is they've cut out this wall here. So that used to be grease block or brick. Cut out this wall here, removed it, skimmed all the edges, skimmed the ceiling, and now it gives it that fridge space. Because originally we were like, well, where are we going to put the fridge? To get a shallow one, maybe under here, just a half one. But actually, get a nice American style fridge freezer in there, something along those lines, gives it a wow, does its job, but also opens up the kitchen. Got nice new spotlights in there as well. And
I think that goes back to when you first arrived here, isn't it? It's not just a case of turning up and just having the practical. It's maximising the actual
maximise the space.
100%.
What's dead space, and can you change it?
100%.
Adds value. It really does. Even though you don't think, adding that little bit of cupboard space is going to do much. But when your overall finish is there, and there's more light in, there's more room, there's more appliance can go in there, yes, that does add value, so do it.
100%.
So you got the rad brackets on, but here's what they look like. So within this, we've gone for organised to go for a higher spec rad. Now you can see they look very smart. That's just choice, obviously, how you want it to look. But again, we're going for the wow factor. We're going for SA. We're looking at nice and open spotlights, nice rads, feature walls. You know, very smart stuff. So yeah, and then obviously all the pipe work's been put in place for that.
Yep.
Which is obviously a lot of work that you don't see gone into the property, but when you got all the wiring, all the plumbing in, quite important. Again, skim the ceilings, which was fine. So I walked into here. Nothing's really changed in this room, and even the flooring's actually not that bad. I don't think we're getting rid of this flooring.
But talk to us for a second about kind of obviously when you first approached this property, it was very dated, very horrible. You can see the kind of the right we've kind of planned ahead with the buyers how they want it to be taste wise.
Yeah.
With obviously the end goal in mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of so obviously we've come here, we've got the builders in mind, what their best interests are, and then we're cracking on with the work right in that sense. You can kind of see we've kind of planned ahead, we know what's going on. Obviously this is like midway through the refurb, as you can tell. But you can kind of see, even with the radiators, how it's all planned ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, all this stuff is factored in with the management organising. And then, you know, like Roy says, as you walk in, you start to plan out how do I get this from A to B?
Literally.
You know, what are we doing with it? What's the plan? So initially it's like, all right, coming in, well, what's the cost? Does it work as a deal? Yes. Does it work as an exit? Yes. Is the area good? Yes. Obviously, it's all factors in. And then you start to do the nitty gritty from that, which is, right, what can we do to spruce it up? Media walls, nice rads, opening the walls up, things like that, really. Again, got the hardwire smokes.
Yes.
Got the skimmed ceiling, like I said. Got the old frame, so the new internal doors are ready to go in.
Fancy. Nice.
Yeah, so I like that. Bit nicer than the 6-panel, but not that much more expensive. Obviously, that's a standard door, I think. Yeah, so a fire door is going to be a bit more expensive depending on the exit. With this, it's going to be classed as a single let, so you're not going to need to go to the extent of getting fire doors. In other projects, if you're running them as a multi-house, more like a HMO, better to do it to the regs of the HMO, even though it's not needed.
Really good point. Love that.
So, again, with this, I mean, you walk into a refurb, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to need a full rewire. You know, sometimes you don't know until you're in there. So take a contingency, but sometimes you can upgrade a consumer unit, run in some additional electrics, and then make sure it's all, do an EICR and make sure it's all compliant and working fine, but do a hardwire smokes on a separate loop as well then.
Yeah.
I'll just pop out here a sec, just to show you. Now, funny story, these things got nicked. So between me viewing it and purchasing it in auction, someone nicked our flagstones.
Some things you can't prepare for.
No, which is a bit unfortunate because they're probably not that cheap, to be fair.
Yeah,
and they would have
shouldn't
been.
Laugh. It is quite funny.
They would have been the original sort of stone, but
yeah.
This was all overgrown. Just cutting it back. You know, again, we like low maintenance. We've got the pebbles, whether that's going to be for this one. To, you know, just run nice low maintenance SA. We're going to paint the walls. We pressure wash these. So actually quite lucky, which is good thing to note quickly. It's just make sure your render's okay.
Yes.
All right, knock it. You can hear if it's blown. If it's blown, it's all right on this. It's not going to be that expensive, but on the house, if it is blown, it can be quite costly. So just have a look around. I would definitely be making sure that's one of the first things I look for now. Is the render okay? Is the house okay? Because obviously you want to add value through cosmetic refurbs, not doing things like render and windows. Windows a little bit, but not as much. But render's just something that has to be done, but doesn't add any value. So yeah, pressure wash those, paint them, paint all this. You know, make it look nice. Low maintenance garden, love it. Perfect for SA.
Yeah, they're like almost like easy fixes, aren't they? To kind of for the aesthetic side.
They give that wow factor, you know, that curb appeal. That the value is going to come and going to be standing out the front, and you're going to want to wow him. We are painting the front of this as well. Yeah. So I would always factor in, honestly, an additional £1,000, £800 to paint the front. I know it seems a lot, but after you break it down, it's not quite that much unless you're doing it yourself, of course. To paint the front of the house, give it a nice colour, man. I'm fed up of seeing grey. I want to see blues and yellows and oranges because it honestly, it gives it that warmth feeling that this is a luxury house, you know? If you painted it like dark grey, it's all boring, you know? Where am I, in a library?
It seems to add some caffeine. But no, like it's the curb appeal, isn't it? It's like it's all one thing, like longevity, but it's also like the attractiveness. And And it also, the end value, it can
boost it, man.
It can boost it slightly as well, having that extra little bit of wow factor. So
it's like buying a brand new car and imagine it was all rusty.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Now that car's a 10k less. You got to build the picture.
Let's go, Sibren. Let's go.
Build the picture. So here we are in this. This is the double bed now. Within this floor plan, it is relatively quite small. So we have tried to sort of maximise space, but still make it suitable. Old boiler there. That's going to be boxed in. It is working fine again with me. I say if the boiler's old and working, I mean, what's an average lifespan? 15 years. But if you can keep it going for a couple of years, why not? Like, why change it there? But in this case, yeah, we boxed it in to make it look nice. We skinned the seat ends. Going to put a nice double bed in here. Rewired all the plumbing because obviously there's additional rads going in, which means they have to plumb all the way to the boiler to put those new runs in. Again, just paint and decorate, mist coat, spotlights gone in. Switches, got all the skirting ready to go in. So yeah, generally safe. Now, I don't know if you can remember, but this used to be the door into the bedrooms. One bedroom here, which was quite large, significantly large, which would be nice as a 2-bed, but you can maximise your deal, making it a 3. So come on in through. Now, this is where the door was, so where you are now looking. Walked into the bedroom. Now we put an additional wall here to separate them, which is that one. And then we've added a little bit here, obviously, to create that hallway, which has worked out really well, actually. And we've also created storage spaces, so I'll show you now.
So just to kind of repeat on that, literally, this was all open. So if you imagine there's a door here, this was all non-existent, just a massive room that you can walk into. Where Sibren's standing is technically in the middle of the old room, and then the partition wall's here. So we've literally split in half, partition wall, and then we've got a little bit of a side thing, and then bedroom, really maximising the value.
And just as a little note on that, adding a bedroom is adding value. So if you're buying at a discount and you're adding value through refurb, you got a double whammy to get a nice GDV at the end. So that's what we're doing. You can either buy a discount or you can buy a reasonable price and then add value. So that's what we do in property. So then again, storage cupboard here, that'll be a couple. So obviously this is quite interesting. So we couldn't use this as floor space because that's where the stairwell is and it has to be a certain head height. So we created it as a cupboard, which means we can hide this still and still utilise that space up there. So it's not dead. Because if that was just, which was what before was a fat box come here, you're taking up all this room now that would have come out here. So again, adding space. This is probably going to be 2 singles and a double, just because of the size of them. And because we had SA in mind, it doesn't really matter because people, nice room with a single bed's absolutely fine, adequate. Could have multiple people coming for Bike Park Wales, utilising the area, tourism, beacons, especially really Car West going on ski slope potentially.
Yeah.
Lots
and obviously you're literally managing this whole refurb, aren't you? So we've obviously got, as you can see, the builders downstairs. Like your project manager, you're overseeing this, popping in every single week, those sort of things.
Yeah.
So obviously Sibren fully knows this project, as you can tell, but he's also he's fully aware of this. He's checking every week. He kind of sees what's going on, and he's really making sure the timescales are worked with, and then it just benefits the investor, doesn't it, on the back end?
Absolutely, man. It's always have the exit in mind, understanding what the end user is. That's it. And then the cupboard space. I mean, all this is standard. Once you do a couple of projects, you look for that. You do have to think, right, where's the bed going? Where's the rads going? Where's the fridge going? Where's the cupboard space? Because otherwise you give someone a little room and just go out of the room. You could put a bed in there, but nothing else. It's not livable.
Yeah.
So you do have to think about that, and that it can be a bit, daunting process. But just break it down. Just start with the main stuff. Don't try to overcomplicate it by thinking, right, I need to have all my ducks lined up. But general overview, right, how we got it, what's the refurb, X amount. And then when you're in it, you're starting to think, right, how can we make it better?
Rocking.
So anyway, last bedroom now, as we're coming in. So obviously this was a 2. So if you, first of all, put a cupboard in, again, thinking about the end user, got a bit of cupboard space, this will be a single bed as well.
Yeah.
Now if you come over here, right, I can show you that this is the wall. So if you imagine that wasn't there now, that was the original wall. We put this partition up, which is added the third bedroom, technically, and obviously got the brackets in for the rads. Yeah, and then obviously all the floors are up because of wiring and plumbing and all that.
Yes.
And you put spotlights in as well, skin the ceilings. They're all Artex, which is you wouldn't even know now.
And obviously the windows, they're from the old
Windows are
existing.
I mean, windows are existing windows, but again, they don't add too much value by replacing them. So if they can work fine for now, keep them.
Yeah.
If they're blown, can you get away with changing the glass? Can you get away with keeping them if they're blown? It's not nice, but you're not living here. No one's living here for a long time. You're coming here for a couple of days.
You're basing it on the exit, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah. And then just a last little pointer. Always try and get the EPC up. Loft installation, 300 mil. It's probably going to need a little bit more up there just to bring it up to maximise EPC, maximise bills costs, heating. Yeah. It is important.
Love that.
Originally, there used to be like a brick banister. So that block used to come up here. But we've removed it to put a wood one in to allow light into this hallway. Because otherwise that was blocking a lot of light, which means that as you're walking up the stairs, it's very dark. So they've taken this down, I don't know. They've taken this wall down to build a nice wooden banister.
Right, so that's obviously Sibren running through the project as it is. It's about 4 weeks-ish into the project, if not a little bit more. So what we're going to do is, we call this project Balaclava, because that's obviously where it's kind of the street's name. And what we're going to do is to check in at the end of the project, so that we'll have done a video before the project, obviously during it, and obviously afterwards. Sibren will be overseeing the whole project. He'll be doing weekly updates through socials. But just sort of introduce Sibren into the picture, and you can kind of see the team where I work with the clients, kind of finding the investors, finding the investments, and then obviously Sibren's project managing the projects, and we can build a team that way. So yeah, there we go, Sibren. And literally, if you're wanting to build a portfolio with projects like this, comment yes, because we're literally doing this totally hands-off for every client, where, like I said, I work with the clients directly, Sibren's project managing the projects in the background, and we've got a bit of a system going where we can really build people's portfolios that way and build their wealth in the long run. So comment yes if you want to start buying properties like this in South Wales. This one was bought for about 60-ish grand. The end value is just over 100. So you can see how much cheaper it is than the rest of the country. So yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out, Steve.